Hi, this is 𝗧𝗏𝗦𝗧𝗦. Thanks for joining the Creative Retail Talks podcast today. I'm really excited to have a couple of members of the Blumenthal family with Lion Brand Yarn, an iconic yarn brand in the creative industry. Hi, this is 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗦𝗧𝗏. Thanks for joining the Creative Retail Talks podcast today, where we will be discussing the latest in life, business, and retail. And we're going to talk today and learn about the story behind Lion Brand and learn about this fifth generation company that has just some great stories and great people behind it. So with me today is David Blumenthal, chairman of the board, and Adam Blumenthal, VP of Product and Digital. Guys, great to have you with us today. Thanks for being with me.
Well, thanks for having us.
Looking forward to a great conversation. What are some stories you're the most proud of? I know there's so much as a company you guys are proud of, and where we're going next is some of your purpose and that kind of thing. So I'll hit on that in a minute. But just what are a couple of stories, or and Dave, you already mentioned some recognition, but just what are some stories maybe or examples of things that you guys are just really proud of when you think about the history of Lion Brand or recognition Lion Brand has received?
Well, I'll go first if that's okay. I think the fact that my son Adam, who was a wonderful student at Northwestern, and as I said, in computer science, and he created our website, and then later went on to become director of information at a company, and then worked at Price Waterhouse, wanted to come into Lion Brand. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to give him golden handcuffs, and I didn't want to tell him, you must come in, etc. He wanted to come in.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm very proud of the fact that he's done a fabulous job at Lion Brand, and he's taking us to well into the 21st century in today's world of social media. And when he says digital, it's been a very successful area of our company, our e-commerce business.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that. I'm also proud of my daughter, who was our brand ambassador for a number of years and founded the 𝗧𝗔𝗞𝗘𝗔𝗪𝗦 program,
yes,
which we'll talk about a little later at charity. But I'm also outside of it, we received an award from Ernst & Young, which is not we don't do business with them. We were selected as the outstanding family business in New Jersey.
Wow.
And that was a very big thing, because we were up against major companies, major pharmaceutical companies, major financial companies, and we won the award for the outstanding family business. So that was a very proud moment.
Yeah, congratulations. That's a really impressive award right there.
Adam?
Yeah, I'll say that the thing that I'm very proud of, or that I love the most, I'm proud of, our interaction with our customers and the consumers, and the way that the consumers react to our brands.
Yes.
It always amazes me and impresses me. I mean, one of the areas of the business that I oversee is our customer service, and the quantity of customer. Yeah, I'm not going to say we don't have issues with product. That happens. But incredibly, the quantity of customer compliments, unsolicited, because I never put it out there, hey, send me your compliments.
Right.
But we love Lion Brand. We love your brand. The comments we see on social media from people, we're not paying people to write that stuff.
Yeah.
When I talk about our brand in places, in other places, and people say Lion Brand, like, you're my hero. I love that brand. I love and people I've never met, and the ability for us to really connect with those people, how our brand creates that connection.
Yeah.
That's very proud. The fact that, we can get into a little bit later the story of Vanna and Vanna White, and, the original conversation. And, I think the story was you saw her dad on Johnny Carson, was it? Or
yeah, Johnny Carson.
Yeah, actually, this is a good time to do that. Let's talk about the Vanna White story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, but what was incredible to me about it was, we reached out to her, saw and Johnny and sent her a gift basket, and hey, Lion Brand. She was like, I love your yarn. She was already a customer. She was familiar with us. She knew us. She had that connection. So to evolve from that point to work with someone, and we've done many partnerships with people, since. But one of the key things and the most successful partnerships we have that I always look for when we're doing these licensing partnerships is that passion.
Yeah.
I don't, if someone's not a knitter, or if someone's not, if they're just, oh yeah, I'll knit some yarn. It's not as exciting, or when someone has that passion that can really pull it in. And that's what she has. And that's what she's really brought to this, she's brought to the knitting community at large, but to our company, and it was always there. So it's authentic. That's what's really cool about it with her and with our customers.
Yeah.
Clint, to back up that story about our customers liking Lion Brand, and I think of the time I was on the board of SIFE, which later became Enactus. It's a student promoting capitalism around the world.
Oh, wow.
And as a board member, I was down at the board meeting in Bentonville, Arkansas. Walmart is a big contributor to the organization. And at the time, the chairman of the board of Enactus was Doug Conant, who was the CEO of Campbell's Soup.
Mm-hmm.
And he announced that the Campbell's Soup was giving $100,000 to Enactus. So I went over to him after the meeting, and I introduced myself to him. And he asked me what I did. I told him, and I congratulated him, and that was the end. The next morning, he came over to me and he said, David, last night I called my wife and I was telling her about the meeting. And I said that I met David Blumenthal, the president of Lion Brand Yarn. And she said, you met the president of Lion Brand Yarn? He's like, who, what, where, when?
Yeah.
He was blown away. She was a customer. She was a loyal Lion Brand customer.
Wow. That's great. I tell you what, that customer loyalty, that is definitely something to be proud of.
He was blown away from it. He couldn't stop talking about Lion Brand.
You were like a celebrity to her.
Yeah, right.
That is really great. And to the point of Vanna White, and I know the great partnership you guys have had with her, and again, going back to loyal customers. So that has meant a lot to your brand for sure. So real quick, let's tell the listeners about the Vanna White story and kind of how that came about and what that has meant to the brand and kind of what that partnership has looked like. And I know you've done some great things with St. Jude Hospital with that as well.
Right. Well, she was on Johnny Carson, and actually I didn't see it. My cousin Jack saw it. And the next morning he said, David, you're not going to believe it. I was watching Johnny last night, and Vanna was on, and Johnny said, so what do you do in your spare time? Figuring who knows what she would say. And she says, I crochet. I love to crochet. And so Jack said, let's send her a little package. Sent her a package. She writes a handwritten note. And up until a number of years ago, when we all got into the internet, it would always be a handwritten note back. And she said, I love Jiffy. It's my favorite yarn. And to this day, she doesn't even like when I send her yarn. She likes to go into the store, whether it's Joann's or Michael's or Walmart, and she likes to pick the yarn right off the counter. I said, Vanna, she says, no, I like to go shopping for yarn. I like to touch it and feel it. And she loves to crochet. So what we've done is we've done books with Vanna. We've done free patterns. One of the successes of Lion Brand is that we offer over 8,000 free patterns on our website.
Yeah.
A lot of the book companies weren't too crazy about that. We've done store visits with her. We've done fashion shows with her at the Craft and Hobby Association show. For many years, we did great fashion shows where Vanna was the moderator and model. She's been on TV with us. Just recently, she was on TV on the wheel and talking about yarn with 𝗧𝗔𝗪𝗦. We're going to be celebrating 30 years with Vanna in the fall. 30 years with Vanna White. And she is genuine. She is the real deal. And what happened was a number of years ago, about 10 years ago, we said, I think it's time for us to create a yarn with Vanna. And I called her up and, Vanna, how are you? This, that. I said, we'd like to do this. She says, on one condition, David, I want to give back. I said, that's beautiful. I said, who do you want to give back to? Because we have a communal fund, the company that we give to various charities ourselves. She said, St. Jude's. I said, it's a deal. So it's funny because when we had a license with, I'll say it, Martha, and we had a license with Martha, they sent me a 34-page contract. With Vanna, she said, write a little note, David, just what we're doing. And anyway, bottom line is we've reached over $2 million with Lion Brand and Vanna White giving to St. Jude's. We've been down there a few times. After we reached $1 million, I walked out and I said to Vanna, I said, Vanna, I was thinking of where do we go from here, but we got to stay with them. They're the real deal. They are an unusual organization. We shouldn't know from it, but do you know that anyone who comes in with a child up until 18 years old, everything is paid for. And they're a research center, and they're just an unusual organization. And so we're very proud of that, and we're very proud of partnering with Vanna on that.
Well, that's huge. I know that has helped a lot of kids that have come through those doors, and I love that you guys have partnered with her to contribute to such a great cause. That's really, really cool. When you said 2 million, I wish I had a button where we could do fireworks and stuff, because that is amazing. $2 million to St. Jude. That's great. That's great. And I remember the trade shows when I first got in the industry. At like Craft and Hobby Association, when Vanna was there, there was buzz all over the floor. Like, hey, Vanna's at the booth. Go see Vanna. So that's a great partnership you guys have had. I tell you what, let's stay on this thought process for a minute of kind of social impact, because I know Lion Brand does so many great things with social impact. You mentioned Hat Not Hate, and I know there's some others. So Adam, you want to share a little bit about, or David, either one, about kind of some of the social impact initiatives that Lion Brand has undertaken, and kind of what your part is in those, and what that has meant to the company?
Well, I'll talk about Hat Not Hate first, and I'll let Adam.
Why don't you talk about Hat Not Hate?
A number of years ago at a meeting, Shira said, I'd like to start an anti-bullying campaign, because she was bullied in the fourth grade. She was 9 years old. And someone said at the table, well, that's not a good idea. I don't want to get into politics. I said, hey, bullying is not politics. No one likes a bully, and no one likes to be bullied. And whether you're an adult or a child or whatever, it's worthwhile doing this. And Shira came up with the concept of knitting a hat. The blue is the color of anti-bullying. Knitting a hat and distributing these hats out to students around the country as a sign of anti-bullying to schools. And so the first year, I think it was about 4.5 years ago, she started this from nothing, from scratch. And I said, Shira, if you get 250 hats, I'll be impressed. Of course, she constantly reminds me of that.
I bet.
And that was in the summer. Her birthday, September 28th. And on September 28th, she received 2,600 hats.
Wow.
By that time.
Of
course, the next year, with the role that was going on, she received 32,000. Bottom line is that when this past year, when she finished the month of October, all total, she has distributed over 92,000 hats.
Wow.
Around the country and around the world to students wearing these blue hats, these knitted hats. It could be anyone's yarn. Didn't have to be Lion Brand. It had to be blue. 75% of the hat had to be blue. And it's made, what blew me away, not only from the number of 90,000, 92,000 hats, is the notes and the letters that she has received, which she's putting together in a journal, of how it has affected these people and how they've been affected by bullying, whether it's their children or their associates or their partners or whatever, and how proud they are of helping this anti-bullying campaign. So it's handmade.org.
Okay.
You can find out about it, and she's still doing it, but this time she's having the local shops around the country being drop-off points where they collect the hats and they will distribute it to their local schools.
Oh, that's great.
But she's done programs in schools talking about anti-bullying. We've done a kit with Faber-Castell on a loom kit, Hat Not Hate loom kit. So we've gone, and but she's the founder, and she's spearheaded this whole program. So I'm very proud of her as well.
As you should be. 92,000. That's impressive. And I love what she's doing with the local shops to have them collect and distribute and just really kind of localize it. And by the way, we will put that website address in our show notes so that people can go check that out and get involved with that, because what a great initiative.
Great.
Yeah. So that's Hat Not Hate. I know that's a big one for you guys. Adam, what other things are y'all involved in from a social impact standpoint?
Right. So from a social impact standpoint, the two other main initiatives that we sort of had. The first one is around, I think, last year, about a year ago, actually it was 2 years ago, we were approached by someone who was a doll maker, basically, they used our yarn, they used other yarns to make dolls, and she was a maker of color, and she said, I don't have any yarn to represent African American skin tones or people who are there are different gradations. There isn't that breadth of color anywhere. And across the spectrum, it just didn't exist. They were either not natural or less than natural, or even the whites were not great in terms of what they were doing for the types of colored skin tones that has like washed out or very dark. So we said, hey, we want to partner with this maker. We want to partner with people of color and everyone around to see how can we make things that appeal to everyone, that will appeal for doll makers and for people who can, express themselves creatively. Right. Will appeal to people that just want a more in-depth breadth of color to be able to express, what tones that match their skin tone or coordinate with their skin tone. And it was something we saw in the market that really didn't exist. So we came out with this Skein Tones program that really isn't designed. We don't represent every single skin tone out there. We're just really trying to give a greater option to people, and specifically people of color and makers of color, to really express themselves in new ways across the spectrum of color, from the the darkest colors that we have to the lightest colors, and everything in between. So that's something that we focus on, and of course now during Black History Month, it's something that's we've been focusing on in our social media. You can see it on Instagram, which maybe you can put in the show notes as well.
Yeah, we will definitely do that. Yep.
And you can see that support that we've done.
Yeah.
The second,
Hey, real quick, I wanted to make sure everyone caught the name of that. I love the name that you guys came up with, that Skein
Tones.
Skein of yarn, Skin Tones. That's great play on words there. It's a great product name. And I also just want to say, I love, when I heard about this, I love thinking about, we've got friends of all nationalities, all ethnicities, little girls of color that have never had a yarn to make a doll that matches their skin color. I've just, when I heard about what you guys are doing, I thought about how meaningful that is, that a little girl can take Skein Tones and or an adult. I know there's a lot of adult doll makers too, but to either have a doll or make a doll that matches the color of their skin. I just think that's such a great product that you guys have launched.
Yeah, it's awesome, and we're, it's these smaller things that originally, we sort of look to the community, the maker community, to bring into us. And that's, as I was talking about before, our change, we're always we don't have all the answers. We don't know everything, but partnering with these makers and seeing what the demand looks like and where we're at in that community and in all the communities is particularly what makes this exciting. The other thing that is a big focus for us right now is sustainability. And that's, of course, throughout the industry and throughout the world, it's very important. And, as we look to our yarns, we're focused on, we have a line of sustainable yarns, respun and re-up that use responsibly sourced recycled cotton that uses less water, or it uses no water because it's recycled. And then we're using respun, which uses recycled plastic bottles basically to create yarn. We're looking at recycling wool post-consumer and sometimes pre-consumer as well, to really augment the breadth of options that the consumer has in order to make and to create new things in a responsible and in a recycled manner. And this is a really, really exciting area of the business that we're trying to grow, and we're looking to grow extensively.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I love everything you guys are doing from a social impact standpoint, from Pat Not Hate Against Bullying to Skein Tones for ethnic diversity, to the sustainability to make a better earth for all of us. So great job on all that you guys are doing on that front. I hope you enjoyed our conversation on the Creative Retail Talks podcast today. Be sure to visit our show notes page for more information on today's show. And if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, reach out to me at clint@creativeretailtalks.com. Creative Retail Talks is all one word. That email address will also be in the show notes. Hope you have a great day.